Okay, on the last driving test walkthrough that I did, I asked you guys for recommendations of where you want me to go next. So here I am in Isleworth. There are a lot of driving test centres that I haven't covered, so stand by, West London, I'm coming for you. Isleworth seems like a pretty nice area so far, but we'll deep dive into that more when we go driving. The test centre is modern, clean, airy and light. The waiting room is also friendly and inviting. The toilet facilities are okay, there's 2 of them, and there's ample parking outside the test centre for you to park up in if you've got your driving test here. Enough chat, let's go driving. Right, first off, this business complex is pretty big. The driving test bays are in front of me there. Let's get out of the car park. If you're taking your driving test in Isleworth, park like they've done. Park like that BMW and the Ford with your back to the wall, because then when you get in with the examiner, you're going to have a much easier time driving off.
At the end of the road, turn left, then at the end of the road, turn right.
You're going to be driving off forwards instead of having to reverse out. Obviously, if you're coming with your instructor, they'll tell you that. But if you're coming with friends, family, mum or dad, like it looks like those guys are, that's important information. And I've seen before where people drive forwards into a bay, get in with the examiner and then fail straight away because they missed the observations. Because at the beginning of your driving test, you're going to be nervous. Standard. You relax after 5 minutes, definitely. But at the start, nerves are real. Yeah, Isleworth is nice. I've not driven around Isleworth very much, but it doesn't seem like a very difficult place to take a driving test. Obviously, no test centre is easy to take a driving test in. They wouldn't put a driving test centre where there's no roundabouts, for example.
After 200 yards, turn right.
I'm trying to work out whether this is a 20 or a 30 mile an hour road. It's 20, okay, cool. So I kept my speed low there because I wasn't sure. Not massively familiar with the area around here. And do you know what? The DVSA say, Driver Vehicle Standards Agency, the people who do the driving test from the government, they say that you should be able to take a driving test anywhere. I'm not so sure. I slightly disagree with them on that one, because especially if you're a learner driver, and you haven't got loads of road experience, all areas are different. Let's say you're from Isleworth, but you take a test in West Wickham. I say West Wickham's pretty easy, but if you're not from that area, there's going to be tricky stuff that will trip you up. So definitely practice in the area that you're going to take your driving test. And don't just book a driving test in Scotland and think that you're going to go up there the day before, stay over and pass your driving test, because I don't think you will. Very different, and if you're used to driving in one particular area, it's going to be a hard switch to another area. And yeah, okay, once you've passed, I could drive to any other area and pass a driving test probably, or drive confidently, but I've been driving for, I don't know, years, a lot of years, so my experience is high. What is going on here? It's good to keep aware and not waffle throughout your whole driving test, so that you can spot things coming up in the distance. When you can see things coming up in the distance, you can react to them much quicker, which makes your examiner feel safe, which makes you pass your driving test. The whole point of the driving test is just make your examiner feel safe and drive safely. That's it. You don't have to be a very good driver, you just have to be safe. So forward planning is an essential part of that. Having said that, I'm going to spend more of my attention giving you guys awesome content than passing my because my driving license isn't on the line here. So if I make a mistake or I mess up, put it in the comments. This should be interesting. I'm on a 30 mile an hour road. I know that because I've just seen the sign. Also, if I'm looking into these side roads, I can see they switched to 20. That's not a hard and fast rule that can always work, but if I can see a speed limit change that way, or a new speed limit that way, it might mean that coming this way, there'll be a different number on that sign. So if it says 20 that way, it might say 30 this way, although it might say 20 on that side and 20 on that side. You just have to remember the last sign that you saw, which is why spotting road signs is so important. If you miss a road sign, it could ruin your whole driving test. This bus is pulling over, just checking mirrors to overtake straight away. Look at that car park. I bet this is where they do some parking manoeuvres. I bet students have been taken in there for bay parking before, 100%. If you've done a driving test at Isleworth, whether you passed or failed, here's what I want to know.
300 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
Here's what I want to know. I want to know what the examiners are like, because that's such a big part of a driving test, of you passing your driving test. You could have the hardest area. My favourite driving test centre is Hither Green. And Hither Green's not that easy. There's loads of 20-mile-an-hour roads which you could easily go over the speed limit on. There's hard roundabouts, width restrictors all over the place. But the reason I love Hither Green, the examiners. As soon as you feel relaxed, because your examiner's nice to you, you're gonna drive relaxed and pass your driving test. So what are the examiners like at Isleworth? We're a community here. If you haven't been here before to us at Driving School TV, we're a community. So we help each other out. And this video, even though I haven't done a driving test at Isleworth, some of you will have. Let the guys know in the comments, what are the examiners like? Also, what we want to know is, what's the hardest thing at Isleworth? Also, what's the pass rate? Put that in the comments. It's between 30 and 40%, or is it 45? Isleworth doesn't have a massively high pass rate. No test centres in London have a massively high pass rate. It's all below 50%.
After 100 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
Which isn't great.
Go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
More than half of everybody fails their driving test. Like, fail. Over half of everybody that takes their driving tests in London doesn't pass. What that does mean for you is, though, take the pressure off 40 miles an hour. Take the pressure off. If you take your driving test and it's your first time, just know that more than half of everybody fails. So there's no pressure on you to do really well and pass first time. There's no pressure on anyone, no matter who you are, to pass first, second, third time. And as soon as you release that pressure valve of thinking that you've got to do really well and pass first time, you're going to be more relaxed and you're going to have a better chance. Weirdly, you're going to have a better chance of passing first time. Okay, I know it's 40, so I'm going to speed up here. The black car on my right, though, isn't going at the speed limit.
After 300 yards,
this is important.
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
Cross the roundabout, second exit, straight ahead. There's the sign telling me. I'm not going to undertake this car. I wanted to go up to 40 miles an hour, but they're going slower than me in the right lane. That would have been an instant fail. I talk about undertaking a lot. Go check out our TikTok if you aren't sure about how serious undertaking is. If you're watching this video not when it was released, you might have to scroll back a little bit, but there's a good few examples of students being undertaken and failing their driving test. Or just go and check out the TikTok anyway, at Driving School TV. And if you are new here, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can get all of our videos, all of our super helpful
and take the second exit
videos in your face. We have fun here as well. We don't take life too seriously. Driving is fun, like mega fun. Should I overtake? Where am I going next? Left in 3/4 of a mile. Not going to overtake. I could have, but I'm not going to. If you're on your driving test and you're not in this situation, you should make progress. I'm doing 30 miles an hour now and the speed limit is 40, but the road is slightly too congested for me to get further ahead comfortably with a left turn coming up. So I'm going to sit here. I'm really trying to pass this.
After half a mile, turn left.
Half a mile, turn left. Ooh, Twickenham. Is that Twickenham Rugby? Doesn't look like Twickenham Rugby, what I remember. 35 miles an hour. I want to go faster, but I'm not going to do crazy overtaking. The road's too busy. I'm going to get stuck on the right and I need to turn left soon. So that's not smart at all. Conversely, on the other side of that though, your driving test isn't an audition to be a learner, to be a great learner. Ooh, who can be the best learner? How good are you at being a learner driver?
100 yards, turn left, then take the third right.
That's not the test. The test is to get a proper driving license like everybody else. So we need to slot into the rest of the traffic. We can't be doing 34 miles an hour on this road without a good reason. This is beautiful. This is I like Isleworth.
Take the third right.
Where's the left? Let me identify the junction before I signal. That's important. And I'm going to signal nice and early because I'm driving quite fast on a dual carriageway. Look, Isleworth might be one of my new faves. It's great round here. Look how... I can imagine this is where they're going to pull you over and give you some, either just pull over and drive on again, or some parallel parking. They'll say pull over on the left. All right. And you'll be expecting something else to happen. Handbrake neutral or park and neutral if you're on an automatic. You'll be expecting something else to happen, but the examiner's just going to tell you to drive on when you're ready. Why are they just pulling me over for no reason? They're telling me to drive on when I'm ready. They're just checking if you park safely. Are you checking your mirrors? Are you looking out for cyclists? And how you pull away. The more important one is pretty much how you pull away. It's so common, and I've seen it so many times sitting in the back of driving tests. We practice. But then in the heat of the moment, when it actually matters, you just look at the mirror and drive off. Blind spots, super important. The test is all about safety. Make sure you get the safety bits in. Okay, let me drive off. The examiner will ask you to drive on when you're ready.
After 80 yards, turn right.
No problem. Why is that important? Take a second to breathe. Take a second to get your thoughts together. If you've brought water with you, have a sip of water. Compartmentalize the last 5 minutes and now move on to the next 5 minutes. Driving tests can feel overwhelming. Like, oh my God, it's 38 to 40 minutes of intense driving. It's not. Forget that. That doesn't work for anybody. How can you overcome something that long and that intense? Break it down into 5-minute segments. They're going to pull you over 4 or 5 times, maybe even more, while you're going around your driving test. I can imagine they'll pull you over here again. Use that as an opportunity. Use that to compartmentalize the last 5 minutes. Right, I've done that. And now I just need to do another 5 minutes of driving until the examiner pulls me over again. Just 5 more minutes. Like, okay, 38 to 40 minutes of perfect driving. Not perfect driving, but really good driving. That's a mountain. But 5 minutes? 5 minutes of great driving? You can do that. That's a really good tip that I give to all my students. It's not 30 minutes of intense driving. Your driving test isn't 30 minutes. It's just 5 minutes, but a few times. Oh yeah, I can do 5 minutes. No problem. I can drive perfectly for 5 minutes. Who can't do that? Sounds so much better than 40 minutes of, oh my God, stress. I hope the examiners are nice here as well. I hope that the examiners here are friendly, give you banter. The worst thing in the world is to get an examiner that's just like, right, go.
At the end of the road, turn left, then go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
All right, no problem. Left. Oh, we're going back onto the 40 road. Nice. So this is probably an opportunity for an examiner. We've turned off there to check how you exit.
Then go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
To check how you exit the dual carriageway, and we're going back onto it now to see how you join. This is going to be tricky. Hey, there's a gap, and I'm going to use a lot of gas and get on with it. Oh, now we've got to turn right on the roundabout.
After 200 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
Right on the roundabout, third exit. That would be tricky if it was busy. You're dealing with
Go right on the roundabout and take the third exit. 2
really busy, tricky bits at the same time. A lane change on a dual carriageway and joining a dual carriageway with a slip road that's that big. Okay, yeah, that would be pretty difficult for sure. This is what I mean. If you're from Bedfordshire, made that up. No, I didn't. There's a place called Bedfordshire. Just thought of it randomly. If you're from Bedfordshire and you book a test in Isleworth, like, that's going to be almost impossible if you've never dealt with that before. So don't book driving tests in random places. 1, 2. I'm going to move to the outside lane, signal. Why is it important to leave a roundabout in the left lane? Because you don't want to get caught in the right. Some idiot is going to see your L plates behind you and think, do you know what? I want to get past this learner and undertake you. If I'm leaving a roundabout in the right lane, it's got to be because the left lane was already occupied by someone else. Really important to get to the left. This is quite busy. This is really busy, but I'm not going to stress about it. Why not? This is a roundabout controlled by traffic lights. Literally tells you when to go, which is the hardest thing about a roundabout. Like joining it, the hardest thing about a busy roundabout is joining it, right? The roundabout tells you when to join. No stress at all. 20-mile-an-hour road. Is this a joke? Why is this a 20-mile-an-hour road? I asked you to look out for faults. When you're at a traffic light or a pedestrian crossing, did you spot that? Where am I going? Sit with your brake on. Why is that important? In the unlikely event of a car coming up behind you, not seeing the traffic lights, and ploughing straight into the back of you, you're not then going to plough straight into the back of the car in front or the pedestrian on the pedestrian crossing. Why is this, I'm sorry, wait, why is this 20 miles an hour? That doesn't make sense at all. Oh, a bit like Lewisham really, isn't it? All of that stuff in Lewisham, that's 20 miles an hour. All right, I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm not pointing out any more faults for you guys. I want you to point out the faults for me. Mirror check to move. I'm only taking a slight change in direction there, but it's really important to check your mirrors when you move. I'm only doing 20 miles an hour right now. If someone was on a bicycle, they could be keeping up with me and potentially overtaking.
After 200 yards, turn right.
So if I reposition on the road and there's a cyclist going past me, because let's face it, I'm only doing 20 miles an hour, kind of ridiculous. Oh, what? That sign is taking the piss. 20 zone ends. New 20 zone. Okay.
Turn right.
Turn right, cool. Let's go. Mirror, signal. I always do this and I say this on every single walkthrough video. If you are taking your driving test, talk yourself through another 20 zone. Talk yourself through every single basic procedure. Mirror, signal, position, speed, look. I know it's lesson 1 stuff, lesson 2 stuff, not lesson 1. Lesson 1's controls and instruments, but it's really basic first lessons stuff. But it's there for a reason. It's there as a guide. It's there as a checklist. If you run through the checklist, you can't miss anything.
After 100 yards, turn right.
Especially when you're nervous. Don't drive instinctively. Drive properly. Turning right, mirror, signal, position,
right.
Speed. I'm going to do this in second gear. And no cut in the corner. More really nice residential roads. This is great. This is great. This is exactly the kind of roads that you want to get on your driving test. Lots of these, please. The road looks nice as well. It's got loads of trees and stuff. It looks really friendly. Trees are a calming influence. If you go to an area like, where was it I was the other day? Goodmays. Goodmays is stress. Driving around Goodmays, not on a driving test, raises blood pressure. It invokes fear. Goodmays is a lovely area, but horrible for driving tests. Horrible. If you've got your driving test at Goodmays, then good luck and watch the video. But we're at Isleworth, and Isleworth.
At the end of the road, turn left.
Isleworth's really nice. I haven't found anything bad to say about Isleworth yet. Even the hard roundabouts have traffic lights on them.
Turn left.
So, yeah. Turning left. Positioning, very important. As Laura would say, shape the curb, which means drive around the shape of the curb. Makes your corners smoother, makes your body language, your road body language, the body language of your car show the correct thing. If you're positioned weird on a junction, it shows the wrong thing. Your positioning is almost as, or if not more important, as a signal. Hazard. Moving around, nice and gently. And, okay, the 20 mile an hour thing's really annoying, for sure. Because I just want to whiz around it, and there's a lorry following me really closely behind who wants me to whiz around as well. I'm on a driving test. You're on a driving test. You're the most important person on the road on that day. Honestly, okay, after police, ambulance and fire engines with their blue lights on, You are the most important person on the road. If someone's trying to get you to speed up above the speed limit, or you're worried about holding people up, don't be. If they knew that you were on a driving test, they'd move the hell out of the way and give space for you. That was a bit cheeky. No problem. 20 miles an hour is great, especially down that kind of road, because what it means is hazards are going to come at me a lot slower, so much more slowly, and I'm going to make less mistakes because of it. This bit's super busy. Look at the parked cars. The parked cars. Ooh, cool. Low flying plane. We're near Heathrow. The parked cars are giving me a blocked view of the pavement. Mirror check before I move there. A really blocked view of the pavement. I can't see what's happening on the other side, so it's essential to be cautious. Forget driving tests now. If some kid walks out from behind the back of that
After
Range Rover,
200 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
I need to be at a speed where I can emergency stop and not plough into whoever's walked out from behind the van. Yeah, like that's so important. People do mad stuff on high streets or heavily pedestrianised areas. People just walk out, especially at
Go
night.
right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
That's something to look out for at night, because people are drunk and very, very unpredictable. Turn right on the roundabout. Oh, it's a mini roundabout. I can see that because of the blue sign. And I'm looking at the lady because she's walking across the pavement towards the zebra crossing. Here's the thing. Yes, it's a zebra crossing with an island, which makes it 2 crossings, but she's walking towards me, so I'm gonna stop for her. Same as this one. I'm looking out, no one there. I'd rather stop, honestly, I'd rather stop at a pedestrian crossing that someone walks past than go on a zebra crossing that someone's about to cross on. That's a game over. Not just for your driving test, but for like safety and stuff. See, we take it seriously sometimes. This is still great. The van's still following me really closely behind. I'm mega aware of him, and I went to 21 miles an hour there. But the best thing to think about is just you're keeping the road safe for everybody. Like, he doesn't care about road safety. That van that was behind, not anymore. He doesn't care. I'm keeping the road and everybody else on it safe by sticking to the speed limit. And it is the speed limit. Like, it's a legal thing. If you're driving a car, it's a huge responsibility. Deal with the responsibility. Right, this is what? Where am I now? What a nice looking park. I bet in the summer, with all of the trees green, it looks amazing. Oh no, is it sports? Canella Hall, Royal Military School of Music. Wow. All right. Okay, not gonna lie, the whole 20 thing is getting annoying now, but that's no entry, private property, resident. Okay, cool. It's not a park. It's just niceness on this road. This road is so long and wide. I want to go faster. I can imagine like Chasebridge Primary School. There's definitely a stadium up here though. Is that Twickenham? It is, isn't it? Don't know. Yes, it is. I knew Twickenham was around here. If you're on your driving test, I can imagine there's a high possibility of you zoning out on this road right here, because we're going so slow and there's such a low amount of hazard that you're just going to switch off. Here's the important thing. You're on your driving test. The way to keep yourself focused is what's next. Ask yourself that question constantly, and when you find something that's next,
after 200 yards, turn left.
No problem. When you find what's next, then keep looking for something else. Imagine you're on your hazard perception test. Same thing. Massive possibility of switching off.
Turn left.
So easy to switch off on your hazard perception test because the clip moves so slowly. But you have to keep focused or you're gonna miss the hazard. Same on your driving test, except for just a bit longer. Twickenham Stadium, Virgin Active Classic. It's very nice in there. Okay, so mirror check before you move off. I love Isleworth. Worst thing about it is that it's got unnecessary 20 roads. It's not that big a deal. It's annoying, but it's not that. It's actually helpful. It's helping you, really. Isleworth is really nice, a really nice place to take a driving test. I'm a fan. Tell me your stories of Isleworth, and also, where else do you want me to do walkthroughs? Someone said Rugby or Derby. Forgot your name now.
After 200 yards, go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
Asked for Derby. Unlikely I'm going to get to Derby soon, but I've got a list now. I've got a list now of everywhere that you've asked for driving tests.
Go left on the
Comment below
and take the first exit.
Comment below, give me things to add or places to add to the list. Oh, cheers for indicator, mate. No problem. Just driving around Twickenham, I can feel myself getting distracted. Biggest thing is to not get distracted on your driving test. Don't lose focus. Don't lose focus. It's really important. Oh, also shout out to Trucking Lad. That's a name that I can remember, who asked for Isleworth. Hopefully you find this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up and shout in the comments if you did. If you give the video a thumbs up and comment below, it helps YouTube to recognize when videos are good, and then it recommends the video to other people so it can help them too. Also, I really appreciate it because you guys are awesome. Oh, another roundabout. The roundabouts around here aren't difficult. Not at all. I'm pleasantly surprised with the roundabouts in Isleworth. There's a lot of them on this one route. I've probably done over 5 now. Mirror, signal.
Go right on the roundabout and take the second exit.
Got it. But they're not difficult. They're mini roundabouts or they're traffic light controlled. That's not hard. All the way round the mini roundabout. Or the examiner will say to you at the end, sorry, you failed because it's a roundabout, not an overbout. Classic examiner joke. If you could even call it a joke. Not really. Another really nice road. And the sun's come out. Do you know what? I wished I lived closer to Isleworth because I would bring people here if the examiners are nice, because that's really important. Oh, I'm keeping my speed level. I'm bouncing over a tiny little bit. 21, 22, that's okay though.
After 200 yards, you have reached your destination on your right.
Nice. Even though I'm getting pressured by a massive Range Rover behind me, I'm keeping it steady. It's all good. Yeah. So the route's finished. Mirror, signal.
You have reached your destination on your right.
Right, okay, cool. And obviously the examiner's going to direct you now. End of independent driving. The examiner will let you know after 20 minutes. They'll pull the sat nav down and tell you that they're going to follow their instructions now. So I'm going to direct myself back to the driving test centre. Your examiner is going to direct you back to the driving test centre. Super simple. Like, don't overthink the driving test at all. It's just driving. That's all it is. Bayan Driving School will tell you it's just driving. People build it up into some massive, like, mountainous, overbearing force. Like, what's the big mountain? Mind is blank right now. Everest. Okay, people build it up into like some kind of Everest challenge, and it's not at all. It's so easy. It's so easy. It's the most basic driving test that you can take. Okay, this is taking a piss a little bit. We're doing 14 miles an hour. That's too slow. I don't know what level they're at, but if you were on your driving test and you're going this slowly as the lead vehicle, you're gonna have a problem. Like I said before, it's not a test of being a good learner. The test is, can you drive and keep up with everyone else on the road? If they let people pass that drive at 13 miles an hour down roads like this, you're gonna have so much traffic everywhere. So it's not okay. Not okay at all. But like I said, I don't know what level they're at. This might be the first time that Bayan's pupil has been on a non-nursery type of place. So cool. And this isn't okay to overtake. Like, don't try and overtake either, so that you look more here we are. Don't try and overtake so that you look more confident. That's not gonna work. because that's just gonna be more dangerous. Unless it's really, really easy to overtake, like you're on a dual carriageway, don't do it. All right, here we go. Wireless factory. Sounds quite cool. Like we're at the wireless factory. Like wireless festival, that's what I'm thinking of. That's the end of the driving test route. Hopefully you found that useful and it's given you some interesting insight into Isleworth Driving Test Centre. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the video. Hit the notification bell and I'll see you in the next one. Drive safe.